Hello and welcome to Sim.bc, where it is my first official day home since I went on this little trip along the southern part of France, which is still amazing, totally awesome. And by the way, for you very observant people, yesterday in the episode 69, I included in the description NSP's 6969, the video from YouTube. I love the song, by the way. I think it's really nice. I mean, it's really funny. The social commentary about. Well, you should see it. See what you think. And I promise that if I ever make it to 6,969 episodes, I will probably try to feature them. It's close. It's just, if I keep this daily upload schedule, that will only be like what, 16, 20 years from now, something like 25 maybe. Let's just hope to see if YouTube survives that long, because if it doesn't, then what am I gonna watch during my day? I don't watch TV anymore. I watch YouTube. YouTube is the thing. Anyway, talking about something about of a cultural clash, or more of a climate clash, so to say. Not going into Hofstede's yet. Probably going to say that until Monday and try to have like a fresh start and taking it all in. Doing all of them, all of the 6 dimensions, and then wrapping it up on Sunday. That's the plan at least. So let's see what we're going to talk about these upcoming days. Until then, we have a Saturday, Sunday, and today before that. But as I was going to say, the climate change clash. I mean, today I walked out from the shower. Just to give you a bit of a heads up, it's 5 past 5, and this was about 5 minutes ago. So about 5. It's the 3rd of November. And I came out of the shower because I went to the gym today, I've eaten, I'm now recording, and I've watched all my series and stuff. I'm super productive today, even though I went up at 11:30. Well, what do you do? Anyway, and I went straight from the shower out to the balcony, and believe it or not, it was warm. I could stand there in nothing but my towel. Scaring society. No, covering up the bathing suits areas, as to say, or the bathing suit area. But could stay out on the balcony and just not freezing, which is so cool. I mean, in my mind, it's supposed to be -6 by now. My Swedish thermometer inside of me. I think it's called thermometer, isn't it? As I said, sorry, my internal thermostat is saying that it's supposed to be -6 by now. So it's all matter of clashes in the climate and in the culture of seeing this and just believing it's warm outside. Anyway, that's not what you came for. By the way, gonna say, look at this. Back to society, can actually shave my hair and shave me beard. Oh yeah, with a light sense of saying, in a very light sense of the word beard, because I have none. I have no hair growth at all. Well, except for here, but that's not that extensive either, actually. So, some people are just like they are. But as I said, that's not what you came for. Today, we're going to talk about, let's just move this window so I can see what we're going to talk about. Yeah, considering where you're going to present before you actually start planning the presentation. Now, why does this matter? Well, I'll tell you why it matters. That's the entire idea of this. The idea of why it matters, because based on how you base how to make your PowerPoint, based on this is going to be based on your concept of how to make a PowerPoint is based on the idea of how big the PowerPoint projection is going to be. So when you present this, are you going to have it on your computer? Are you going to have it with a bit of a projector? Is the projector going to project a big or a small picture of the PowerPoint? Is the room going to be big? Are people going to sit further back? Or are they all going to be really close? Are there many people? And then we're going into, adapting language and adapting visuals so that the people that are there, so that it matches the target audience, let's say. But I've talked about this before, and I know I'm talking about this again, a bit about presentation again, but from another kind of perspective, and that's because I'm building up, this little community's terminology, so to say, when it comes to these issues or these kind of preparations, so that I later can just refer to them. So, the PowerPoint presentation is what I am considering. Or, well, if you should actually take PowerPoint to begin with. But to make it easy, you can use whatever presentation tool that you want to, but I'm going to talk about, base my idea around PowerPoint. So the idea is that if you're going to make a PowerPoint, as I said, you need to know how big the picture that is going to be projected is going to be, because are you going to include lots of text? If you're going to include lots of text, how big should the text be? If you're going to include figures or pictures, how big does the pictures need to be so that the audience actually can perceive them and see them? Do you need to zoom in on something? Do you need to give a visual cue about when you're talking about something in the slide? Or will people understand what you're talking about just based on the slide because it's that intuitive? Now, it's always good to be giving a bit of a visual cue, even how good, like no matter how good you think that the slide are, you still know what the slide is supposed to be about. And when you talk about something on the slide, you know what you're talking about. But that's more about actually making a presentation. Now, what is important, as I said, is considering the room, because that can change the way you're making your PowerPoint and the way you're constructing your slides. For instance, let's say that you're going to present in a huge room. Then maybe your PowerPoint needs to have some big pictures in it. Why? Well, because let's just say that you have a medium to large PowerPoint projector that's going to project your slides. And then you have a huge room. The people in the furthest back maybe won't be able to see what's in the PowerPoint. That's why you maybe need to have like big pictures so that they can see it. However, interesting to think about, the people in the very front might be too close to see this big picture. If they sit too close to the actual projection, the picture might be too big for them to fully comprehend. Therefore, my tip is that you include two different slides, let's say, in the same slide. So you have a big picture, a big overhauling general picture of what you're actually talking about, so that most, like 90% of the people can like agree with you, understand where you're coming from, and like go with you as you present. And then you have underneath that maybe a smaller visual representation of the same thing, so that the people that are a bit closer might be able to follow you better because they can understand this visual cue that you put underneath, and so on and so forth. They can hence understand the big picture as well, even though they might not see it from the same view. And if there is lots, like if you know that another tip then, if you know that the oxygen in the room usually is very bad, so to say, that people tend to fall asleep, they tend to be less focused in this classroom or in this order hall, in this presentation hall, then you maybe want to be focused more on quantity than quality, like more on quality than quantity, so to say, when it comes to your slides. That means like basically make it smaller, make it more condensed, make it shorter in every sense of the meaning, because you want people to be able to ask questions when you're done, and you want them to be able to, stay awake for the entire time, so that you actually can ask these questions when you're done. That might be something that some of you say like, oh, duh, yes, obviously, that's how you do it. You consider the place where you're going to be, because that vastly impacts how you're going to make your PowerPoint, how you're going to make your presentation, what kind of presentation tool you're going to use. Are you going to use pens? Are you going to use PowerPoint? Is there a projector? If not, what can you use? Some of you might think that this is really obvious, and then there are some people who are going to be like, aha, never thought about that. But yeah, so think about which room you're going to be in. How are the people in the room going to respond to what you're bringing? Yet again, what country are you in? Are there any like social norms that you need to consider? This is also going into like the next week's discussions, so to say. And I'm sorry if this is all rambly again. This is just my own observations of what that I observed in the classroom, that you should be thinking about how the classroom is structured, how it is presented, how it is viewed by the audience, like how are they viewing the person that's actually standing in the front and speaking. How are they going to perceive this person? Are they higher up or further down from this talker, this speaker, this key person? And who are you as the key person in the room? Yet again, as I was going to say, cultures and stuff. Are you a part of the class, or are you the teacher in the class? Are you the leader of the class? Are they just going to follow what you're saying? Hence, does your presentation need to be catered around that? The audience in the room maybe expecting some things of you. Then you need to meet these expectations. How do you do that? Well, you try to live in the culture, try to establish the culture, not establish, but try to evaluate the culture. What is the culture like? Why is the culture like this? Is there any historical reason for what? Are there some things that you should avoid doing when you're standing there? But this is also going to back to adapting your language and your clothing or your aesthetics to the audience in question. But yeah, the room mostly. Think about the room, or like what kind of equipment are you going to have at your disposal? Why are you going to have this equipment at your disposal? How can you best utilize it? How are people expecting you to utilize it? Are people expecting you to break the norm, or are they not going to expect you to break the norm? Who are you in context to the culture in the classroom or in the presentation hall? And what are the environmental perspectives and objectives in the room? As I said, is it a bit of a level difference? Is there a bit of a further back, or like, are people going to sit in the back or the front? Are people going to sit further up or further down? Are they going to be like widely distributed in small groups all over the classroom, or are they going to be condensed? Can you say, all of these questions you need to ask yourself. How is the environment in the room that you're going to present? That was everything for today, and now I'm done with all of this, and I can engage in my new game that I got, the Super Mario Odyssey, which is like a really good game. I would so love to do a review of that game, even though I couldn't dream about doing reviews. There's so many people doing that already, but 10 out of 10, in my opinion. Like a strong 9.8 anyway. So, have a nice day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hope this wasn't too rambly for you, but I promise that next week we're going to have a proper schedule, a proper structure, and a proper full 7-day plan of what we're going to do. So yeah, see you till then, mates.